What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Air. As a side note, it's really windy outside right now, so there might be some rustling noises in the background. I apologize for that. Anyways, Air is directed by Ben Affleck. It's a biographical sports drama that explores the origins of the Air Jordan shoe line in 1984. At the time, Nike was dangerously close to bankruptcy, and one salesman, played by Matt Damon, proposes that they gamble the company's entire basketball division on a deal with Michael Jordan, who at the time had just signed on to play for the Chicago Bulls. I do really like Ben Affleck as a filmmaker. I think he's really good in certain projects, other projects not so much. I feel like it's an issue of just not having his heart in it, but you can tell something like this, he's really trying to make the best product possible. I think his direction in this movie is really solid, and the entire cast that he has gotten together for this is really good as well. Of course, him teaming up with Matt Damon, always going to be a duo to look out for. Jason Bateman is in there as well, as I believe he was like the marketing director for Nike. And Chris Tucker, who's really funny. Of course, it is very uplifting because it's essentially an underdog story. Adidas and Converse were both sort of dominating the market at the time, so it seems sort of hopeless for Nike to be able to pull off this deal and save the company. But it sort of becomes about more than just that, because Matt Damon's character sort of comes to the conclusion that it should be less about the shoe itself and more about the person who stands in it. And that idea of sort of gambling it all on who was essentially a rookie at the time wound up being the best decision he possibly could have made. And it's really sort of fun and energetic to watch him sort of try to convince all of his coworkers of this. It is very predictable, I'll say that. I mean, unless you live under a rock, you probably know how this story ends. If you've never heard of the Nike brand before, maybe you don't know, but who hasn't heard of Nike before? But there were definitely details in this movie that I didn't know about going into it, and the fact that this deal that they wind up making, sorry, spoiler alert, it sort of revolutionized and changed the way that these companies approach athletes in the professional field when they want to make a deal with them. So it was definitely cool to see things from that point of view as well. It is a little bit strange to me that Michael Jordan is not portrayed by anybody in this movie. Well, he is, but you never see his face. You never really hear him talk. He's just shown very briefly because he kind of has to be there for the sequences where he actually meets with the executives. And his family does, because it would be weird if he wasn't there. I know people will definitely disagree with me on that. I know Ben Affleck specifically made a creative choice to not cast someone specific as Michael Jordan because he felt it would sort of draw attention away from the focus of the movie. But it did feel kind of strange to me, given this movie's message about sort of risking it all on somebody and then having that person who becomes a cultural icon not really be present in the story at all. With that said, the dialogue is pretty snappy in this movie. There's a lot of comic relief. And I think the cast does a lot of the heavy lifting. Again, Ben Affleck, really good. It's clear that he and Matt Damon were both really passionate about this project, and you see that come across on screen. With that said, there are some slow patches here and there that I feel could have been trimmed out or maybe just reworked to be a little bit more interesting because, again, the story is very predictable. It is a little bit formulaic in the way that it ends with a lot of sort of text over the screen, sort of giving you an epilogue of sorts and telling you how all of these things resulted. And I don't think this is quite stylish enough or emotionally riveting enough to be an Oscar contender, but we'll see. I suppose that's a possibility. For me, I enjoyed it a lot. Didn't think it was quite a masterpiece as the reviews had sort of led me to believe, but it is absolutely worth checking out. And if you're going to go see it, please go see it in theaters. This is the type of movie that definitely deserves attention over some of the bigger blockbuster movies that are going to steal that attention away. It's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. Again, really enjoyed it. Some people are definitely going to enjoy it a lot more than me. But as always, that's just my take on it. Let me know in the comments if you have seen Air. What did you think of it? Do you think Ben Affleck is a talent behind the camera that could sort of rise and become even more popular in the future? As always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.